This book is the result of 6 years of research, published in 1994 by James C. Collins, more commonly known as Jim Collins, and Jerry Porras. It's long been a modern classic and has been translated in over 25 languages. Collins and Porras conducted a survey among hundreds of CEOs of the world's top corporations at the time, and then compiled a list of 18 visionary companies which they then thoroughly analyzed, investigated, and compared with their non-visionary peers. They wanted to find out what has helped them stay successful over decades. Here are the 3 tidbits that most struck me. 1. You don't need a great idea to start a great company. 2. Without a core ideology, a company will never be visionary. 3. Visionary companies are like a cult. Want to know more? Let's dig in. Lesson 1. You don't need a great idea to start a great company, or any idea for that matter. James Altucher would love this. It's right in line with his theme of becoming an idea machine. You don't need a great idea to start a great company. In fact, you don't need an idea at all. Why? Collins and Porras argue that contrary to being developed through strategic planning, visionary companies stumble upon their greatest successes through experimentation and jumping on sudden opportunities. Because truly, great and visionary companies constantly turn out great ideas just because they generate so many in the first place. For example, guess what Akio Morita and Masura Ibuka did right after founding Sony? He held a meeting to brainstorm business ideas. They discussed sweetened bean paste and mini golf equipment, among other things. American Express started as a mail business. Motorola with something very interesting and soon obsolete, called battery eliminators, and even Apple's computers were a great success. Eventually, they would create the most profitable product in history, a phone. The reason this company succeeded is that instead of focusing on one idea or great leader, they focused on the process of coming up with ideas and producing leaders, either good or bad. Being restless and persistent matters much more than having that one in a million idea. Lesson 2. Without a core ideology, your company can't be visionary. A core ideology consists of 2 things: a higher purpose and a set of core values. For example, Walmart's core ideology is to bring people retail products at the lowest prices with the greatest customer service. Apple's purpose: think different. They are here to disrupt, to change, to improve. The industry doesn't matter. They did it with computers, then music, then phones. One of their values is user-friendly and beautiful designs. Notice how these don't stand in the way of progress. Apple never stopped experimenting. Otherwise, they would never have moved from computers to music players. However, doing something different and making all their products look beautiful are universal principles which can always be applied. Your core ideology has to live through all products, employees, and times. It doesn't matter what it contains, but rather that it exists. If you have no purpose and no principle to hold up high, you will never create a vision great enough to attract fellow great minds to help you build it. So much more than an idea, you need a purpose and a set of values. Lesson 3. Visionary companies are like a cult. You are in or you are out. Since their core ideology doesn't leave much room for compromises, visionary companies will settle only for the best employees with the same mindset. The core ideology is something that you either share or you don't. There's nothing in between, which is why new employees either thrive or leave very quickly. For example, you couldn't say the F word, damn, or shit around Walt Disney. If he heard you use a 4-letter word other than love, you were fired. No exception. Same with Apple. You either got why the serifs on the font were so important or you didn't. The reason that this is important is that the company feels like a big family, almost like a cult. Only once you are sure employees follow your core ideology can you trust them enough to give them room to experiment and generate those ideas your company relies on. Visionary companies have immense pride in the work they do, but more powerfully is the pride they have in their ability to accomplish great things. Rather than being driven to reach certain levels of success, they are driven by the challenge and excitement that comes from pushing their limits and trying to become better every single day.